calling in, and are you an executive of an organization?
Well, I'm the founder
Okay.
and executive of a newer nonprofit. It's a pet focused nonprofit. It's called the Society for Neutered Pugs.
The Society for Neutered Pugs. Wow.
Yeah, we call it SNP. And it started from my own experience, and I thought that there
Wait a
were
minute,
other.
wait a minute. Well, let me jump back here. You're the exec or founder of an organization, Society for Neutered Pugs, called SNP.
Right, SNP.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. Sometimes it's easier to fundraise. When you have an acronym like that, it's hard to.
Oh,
A lot of
absolutely.
people, they don't know what neutered means, and
Right.
things like that. So, we try to keep it simple. Just a quick snip, and.
So
But
do
what
people
you know
do
it,
people contact you, or do the pugs contact you? I mean,
Well,
how
the
do you build
owners
your
do.
membership?
The owners do, because it turns out that pugs, especially, after they're fixed, they suffer from what veterinarians now have determined is called PTCD, which is post-traumatic castration disorder. Especially, they're very sensitive dogs, and once they go through being fixed and realize that they have not been selected, to be breeders anymore, they get depressed. And I found that with my own pugs, Pugsley and Herman, and they were very sad. They wouldn't play with a ball. They wouldn't eat nuts. They sat around and were just very sad.
Are those? This is Deb. I'm just wondering. Are those the is that part of the clinical definition of PTCD? Is that not playing with your toys and such, or
Right.
yeah,
Right. Especially balls. They're very afraid of them.
right.
They won't eat meatballs.
Yes.
They're afraid of sausage. There's a whole list of things that cause them, a great deal of problem. And my third pug, Marilyn, she also had, some contributing behaviors. She maligned them. She
This is a
wouldn't want to
family
hang
show.
out with
I just
them.
need to
She
interrupt.
called them names.
Ah,
She sang in falsetto. I mean, all kinds of things that were really just bad behaviors that I had to work on.
well, have there been any support groups for people for pugs in this situation, or family members of pugs in this situation?
Well, that's what SNP's real mission is. Is to create a community, both for the dogs, local, in local areas, and then support for their owners, and to find the right kind of behavioral therapy that can bring your pug back to his manliness.
Right.
Because it's very sad. Locally here, we have a support group. We meet at the dog park, and we're very careful about not having too many female dogs there, because it does lower their self-esteem. And we very carefully play with them, and we're very careful about how much pepperoni they get, because we just don't want to reinforce bad stereotypes.
Wow.
So I'm kind of speechless because I've not, in all my years of nonprofit work, have heard of a group like this. What has been your biggest aha moment since you've founded this organization?
Well, I have to say that it was finding how many other people had pugs with similar to, that there was actually a disorder here, and that I realized that there had to be something we could do for them. And, my vet, who's a former Vienna choir boy and understood the issues, he's been very helpful, in helping to put together this diagnosis and find us the right kind of treatment.
Yeah, I can see where you'd be lucky in choosing the right vet, because if we haven't heard of this condition, I bet a lot of vets haven't heard of it either. And so you were very lucky in finding the right one.
Your average vet, they'd have to specialize in pugs and do a lot of snipping. We try not to talk about that, use that word too much.
I can imagine.
Because it does, just the word, they have a big vocabulary, the pug. They're very bright.
So you're not located in Maine, are you?
No. I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay. That's one of the reasons, Deb, why we probably haven't heard of them.
That must make sense, because an organization like this, we'd be all over that.
And,
right.
Because it's hot here and the pug does spend a lot of time inside because of the heat, we just need to make sure that they're comfortable, because I have to say that, Marilyn, because she is a bitch, she makes things difficult for them.
Well, obviously she needs to join that family support group. Then maybe that would be helpful to her.
So, do pugs fly from all over?
Yeah, it really is, because she needs to understand that that's just not kind, and that kind of teasing and demeaning behavior that she does. It's just not helpful.
Right.
Because there was a time when Pugsley got confused. I mean, he started peeing sitting down, and I thought he had maybe a gender identity issue afterward.
Well, I was going to ask about that. I wanted to ask in general about, have you noticed, have your organization noticed there's any difference between, heterosexual and queer dogs? I mean, do they have the same kind of, instances of PTCD? Or
well, it's not. That's a very good question. And in the heterosexual dog, they're much more sensitive to the teasing. From the bitches. But for the homosexual dog, it's really more a peer group issue, where those who have been selected to breed tend to rub it in their face. You know what I'm saying? And it make them feel worse, but they don't really care all that much, what Marilyn has to say about it.
Yeah, I see.
Well, we're about at our midpoint identifier, and I get to ask a trivia question to you. And then I'm curious, and we can pick this up after the midpoint identifier, whether pugs fly from all over the country to come down to your support group. So you ready for our trivia question?
Sure.
All right. So I Googled it as we were talking because I needed to shift gears, but what is a pack of pugs known as? So we're going to take a little break here, and I'm going to identify who we are. This is...
Are you sure you want to?
I don't know after this one.
No, really.
Okay. This is Deb Danger.
Thank you. Thank you.
David Unger of Nonprofit Insider on WMPG, listener-supported, WMPG 90.9 and 104.1, FM community radio of Southern Maine and Eastern New Hampshire. And with us, we have a special guest who is a call-in.
Do you want to give your first name?
Sure, Kathy.
And Kathy is in Florida, and she's the founder and executive director of SNP. So, Kathy, what is a pack of pugs known as?
Well, how about, I think the correct answer is a grumble.
You are absolutely correct.
Wow. Very impressive.
Well, I try to know my pug trivia.
There you go.
Oh, no wonder you're the executive director.
Really?
Oh my gosh,
really?
That's great.
So, do pugs fly from all over the country down to your support group?
Yes, they do. Sometimes they come with their owners. They fly on board, and sometimes they're shipped. Flying, as you know, is extremely difficult these days. It's very, very difficult. You have to, they keep trying to charge all these different fees. And so what I always recommend to my owners is to buy a fake vest online for $10
Wait a
call your
minute.
dog a service dog,
Wait
and
a minute. You're kidding
get
me.
online, and then fly free.
And the opinions expressed
it's the
here.
human.
Yeah, right. The opinions expressed here are not of WMPG, its staff and underwritings, or of USM, and we don't necessarily support what our guests are telling us to do.
Well, technically, it's the other way around. You see, it's the human that's the support.
Because
I see. Really, it's the pug.
I think I just got it, David.
Who needs the support?
We have to think pug centric here.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, we're missing that.
I mean, they're the patient.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, it's you who needs a vest.
I see.
To sit on the floor while your dog sits in the chair.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's very difficult. What I really wish the airlines would do, they're always trying to make a dollar, on selling you different things, and they're not really getting at what people want. I mean, if they charge me to check a bag, then I carry it. And if they charge me to carry on, then I check, right? And if they charge me to go to the bathroom, I just wear bigger Depends. So, they're not getting really the money they're looking for.
At least from you.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do was have them, sell me what I really want, which is a way to stay away from all the other people on the airplane. So I could, for example, when I'm flying with my pug, I would like to pay extra, so that the guy in front of me cannot recline his seat. I find that uncomfortable, and I would pay a little extra so he couldn't do that.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, and again, this is all for the comfort of the traumatized pug. So
absolutely. The other thing I would like them to do is I would pay extra if the person sitting next to me would not talk to me. I am completely focused on my pug while I'm flying.
Right. Oh, I'll sit next to you, and you can pay me, and I won't talk to you. How's that?
Well, you know how it is. I mean, I have a traumatized animal here. He has very low self-esteem, and he knows insincerity when he sees it. And a lot of that, aren't you a cute little man, it just makes him feel worse. He knows it's not sincere.
True.
They don't know his real soul.
That.
Well, see, that's the whole pug-centric thing. I think we're coming around. I mean, you should see David and I are both gobsmacked. I mean, we got our eyes wide open and we're gobsmacked here. We're learning so much from you. Can I ask you a question about your organization?
Sure.
I'm curious about funding.
Well, as with any other nonprofit, it's always a struggle. We call it a puggle. But we have.
Sorry for laughing. Sorry.
Well,
we'll be serious here.
It's shop talk, isn't it?
But I've tried to raise donations and raise awareness. We sell little, save the pug balls and like little toys and things like that. And that's really a lot. I don't have I don't have a separate location, and the internet is free, so that always helps.
Right. So you don't have
an
office?
Right now I'm going after some grants.
Okay.
Nike, or Champion Sporting Goods, companies that make balls that, that really have a vested interest, I think might be interested.
Huh. So when you've done your grant research, have you found that there's some major foundations that are some of the foundations that fund animal rights and things like that they may be?
Yeah, some animal rights groups, but they're more interested in farm animals for the most part. I find that there's you really have to be creative. You know how it is, David.
Yeah.
You have to really be creative when you're looking for funding. I find that there are some societies, some in the Middle East, the Society of Former Harem Guards. They've been very, very helpful and very supportive.
Wow, that's great. So do you do an
Yeah,
annual appeal?
you know that and as I mentioned before, my vet has reached out to some of the former Vienna choir boys, and they have also been very, very helpful. The Falsetto Foundation has grants. Yeah, these are groups who can relate, who understand PTCD, who may have suffered themselves, and so they're very clear about what they'd like us to do.
Uh-huh. Well, it sounds like you've done a lot. How long has the organization been in operation?
Well, let's see. Pugsley is 4, so 3 years. Herman, I got already mutilated, shall we say. He was older, and they never gave him a chance, which is too bad because I have to say, as pugs go, he's a very handsome dog.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute.
He would have been a really excellent stud animal.
Okay, wait a minute. Time out. Are you originally from Pittsburgh?
Why, yes, I am. How could you tell?
Well, it's that accent.
Oh, I don't have a Pittsburgh accent anymore. Jens is fooling.
No.
Nuh-uh.
But I know you're not from the South Side. That's for sure.
No, I'm not. I'm from Squirrel Hill.
Okay, time out here. Is this the Kathy that I've known since like 3rd grade?
Is this the David I went to Sunday school with?
And all those
son of a gun.
Oh my! What?
I can't. Nah. Get out. Get out of town.
And what do you really do?
What I really do?
You mean this isn't real?
What?
I'm a banking consultant, and I am a part-time stand-up comedian.
And we didn't plan this at all, did we?
No. Actually, you didn't. You didn't know what I was going to say.
No, but we planned that you were going to call in and be part of the show.
We did plan that you were going to call me.
Our guest...
I'm the Felinda.
That's right.
I'm Felinda for the guy that didn't show up.
And we did get a cancellation on Monday, and Kathy and I are friends on Facebook, and we've known each other since 60s.
Since we were really, really little.
And I saw that she was doing some stand-up comedy, so I invited her to be on the show. And,
so funny.
And so I really want to thank you.
And if I get any money for SNP,
who should they contact?
Well, wait.
For SNP, I will send all the money to the ASPCA.
Kathy, I've got to ask: do you really have a pug? I mean, I'm totally buffaloed here.
Actually, I don't. I don't have a pug. I have a little 5-pound mutt. That's a cross. He's very pretty, but he's a cross. Believe it or not, between a Yorkie and a Chinese crested. But he has hair.
There's an image. What's your dog's
cutie, but
what's your dog's
name? No, I
name?
don't have a pug. It just seemed to go with the neutering.
Yeah, perfect. Oh
right.
my gosh.
So when are you performing next?
I will be performing in 2 weeks at Sick Puppies Comedy in Boca Raton. So if anybody is down in Florida or you come down, and if I'm not there, they have great improv. Just look up Sick Puppies Comedy, and you'll be able to see me there.
Well, that's great. So, and I always ask my guests as one of the last questions, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, how come you still have a Pittsburgh accent 30 years, 40 years later?
I was actually, I didn't think I did. And I was in a meeting up in Augusta, Maine a couple weeks ago, and this woman in the meeting said to me, "Are you from Pittsburgh?" I said, "Yeah." And she said, "I heard those little twinges, so I guess we never leave it." It's
so embarrassing. You're doing something very professional, and you think you're just all that, and a bag of chips.
Right.
And we've been away from Pittsburgh for me since I was 17.
Exactly.
And the minute you open your mouth, somebody says, "Are you from Pittsburgh?"
Well, it's a great town to be from, and
yep.
So, and I'm guessing that our career paths have led us not to go back there, unfortunately.
Well, not too much, but next July, next July.
She's contacted you, huh?
Yeah, that's our 45th high school reunion.
Oh, my goodness.
So got to be there.
I didn't talk to anybody in high school. Why would I go talk to them at my reunion?
Yeah, but everybody from elementary school's there, so that's why it's fun.
Okay.
We took a picture with just the ones who went to Colfax together.
Oh, my goodness gracious. That's a hoot.
Yeah, so you have to come. It's really fun.
All right. Well, I will consider it. So we're going to post this we graduated Taylor Alderdice High School, and we're going to post this besides our usual places, but we're going to post it on the Taylor Alderdice High School Facebook page. See what the alum are up to these days.
Oh, on our alumni page on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So
that'll be great.
Maybe at the reunion we can do a stand-up routine together. What do you think?
That'd be great. My regular stand-up routine can only be done at night.
Well, you were getting a little close here. Devin gave me a couple of looks. Because we're not allowed to say certain things on the radio during the daytime.
Yes, it's not radio friendly.
Right, right. Well, that's great. Well, it was great talking with you, and thanks again for being on the show. And
it was great talking to you, and thanks, Deb, for giving me the moral support there.
Thank you, Kathy. You were wonderful. Thanks so much.
And again, the show. Thanks,
bye-bye.
Kathy. Bye-bye. And again, the show was pre-planned with a stand-up comic, Kathy, out of Boca Raton, Florida. And hopefully our guest will be here next week, and we will be able to get back on track. But
I have a question for you, if you don't mind. We got a few minutes
okay.
left. Okay. So what is the latest scuttlebutt? You traveled through all the nonprofit circles in Maine. Is there anything you want to share about that nonprofit EDs or high-level folks are talking about in light of the the government, the state government shenanigans? Is there anything going on? Any talk about the governor and such things and possible funding changes or?
Well, having the state budget approved has been a major burden off of a lot of people. And so what's happening is that people are feeling a little more relaxed. But the bizarre thing is, because it's vacation time right now, there aren't a lot of people around, and the activity is very minimal. Mm-hmm. So if we have a phone call, I'll be more than happy to. Nope, we don't have a phone call. Okay. So it's kind of an interesting time where people are regrouping, and I did hear, everybody saying that the economy's better and people are feeling much better about it, but several execs have talked to me that they've had some job openings, and the amount of people that have applied that have been overqualified for the positions is still mind-boggling. So I'm not sure. So
there are a lot of people out there who are underemployed, would you say?
Underemployed or still not employed. And they showed me some of the resumes, and, people were so overqualified for the positions that they were applying for. So that part still concerns me.
What do you think that suggests? What does that suggest to you?
I think in certain sectors the economy is doing well, but, in the nonprofit world, I'm guessing it's somewhat stable. But it hasn't seen that growth spurt that some of the other industries. And
we have so many nonprofits here with so many, employment opportunities, I would imagine.
Right, but a lot of the nonprofits aren't employing. I met with an exec of a nonprofit, and he has been paid in 3 years.
Oh, my goodness.
He takes a small stipend, but his goal is to get funding so he can get paid. And it hasn't worked.
Well, very good. You heard it from an expert, Mr. David Unger.
Well, I wouldn't say an expert. But
all right. Well, somebody is, guy in shorts anyway.
That's it. Well, I hope everybody got a kick out of the show today. Next week, we're going to have Peg Libby from Kids First. If you would like to, thanks to Deb Danger, I had to find my notes, MPI's executive engineer. You can catch Deb on Morning Street Fridays at 6:30. Thanks to Mike Hubbard and Mike providing the music. You can find Mike at www.michaelhubbardmusic.com. Check out Mike's website.